Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wheels from What's to East. This will be my first video of the Christmas special, in which I'm going to show you a couple of recipes that we usually have at Christmas in Bulgaria. So for some odd reason I decided to start with a dessert, because why not? So in this recipe I'm going to show you how to prepare, in this video I'm going to show you how to prepare this dessert, which we call Strudel in Bulgaria, and as you will see in the second part of the video, it consists of rolls made by Filo Sheets and apples and cinnamon and other things. So it's quite Christmassy with all the apples and cinnamon and stuff, and very nice, delicious and moist. So I hope you like it, and stay tuned for the ingredients. Okay, so here's what you need for this recipe. First of all, Filo Sheets. Next, some nuts, sugar, breadcrumbs, cinnamon, a hammer, apples, and some oil. So this is all the ingredients, and we're gonna move on to the preparation now. Okay, so part 1. We're gonna start by preparing the stuffing. So for this you have to take a bowl and mix some of the ingredients, which is the cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, it's quite hard to get out. You do it, but don't hesitate to put more. It's always good to have a lot of cinnamon. It gives an awesome taste to it. Next, sugar. Now, depending on the type of apples you're using, you'll have to modify the dosage of sugar that you're gonna use. So if the apples are sweet and nice, you should use about one coffee cup, like that, and a half. So here we go, 1 coffee cup and a half. And if you're using sour apples, acid apples, you should use 2 cups. But yeah, it's up to you. Next, breadcrumbs, 1 cup. This is all of it, so this will have to do. And lastly, 1 cup, or actually 1 cup and a half of nuts. So I've bought nuts in this form, which are already open, and this is just the inside of the nut. Now normally you should have a mortar and a pesto, I don't know how you pronounce that, but I don't have one. So in any ways, what you need is to get these nuts crushed in small pieces. So what I advise you to do, if you don't have a mortar and a pesto, is to use a sack like that, a little plastic bag, like that. Make sure it closes well. That's why I'm using one of those bags that you would use to put it in your refrigerator, because it has this system that closes it very well. So you put it like that, and using a hammer you break the nuts. Alternatively, you can use a mixer to like crush the nuts with it, but I would advise against it, because the size becomes too small too fast, and you don't want it to be like a powder. You want to have some small bits of nuts. means that this is probably the best way to do it. Unless you have a proper molten pesto, as most people do. Break all the big pieces down. Alright, so there we go, the nuts. You can see the size, can be a little bit smaller, just but this should do it. So just add it all here. If you end up with big ones like that, just break them down by hand, because sometimes there are a couple that remain bigger than what you would like it to. Okay, all this will fit here. Alright, yeah, it looks fine. And just mix everything together in this bowl. And then we're gonna move on to the second part. In the meantime, you can also start preheating your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. If you have an oven with turning heat air inside. I'm gonna put the Fahrenheit equivalent to that in the description of the video. Okay, next part. While the oven is preheating, you should grate the apples. So just take one of these kitchen grates. I'm using the largest. Just grate everything. Don't hesitate to grate the middle of the apple. Just to get as much of the apple as you can. Okay, so here are the apples, and now it's time for the final part of the preparation. So you'll need a baking pan like this. Take some of the oil and cover the pan with it. We're gonna need some more oil for the whole dish, but doesn't matter, I'll add some more later. So I just want to cover it oil so that it doesn't stick. Okay, I think that should do it. Yeah. Alright, so now I've got one Filo sheet here. As you can see, it's extremely thin. You can almost see through it. So when using Filo sheets, you should always use two of them at the same time. So what you do is take one Filo sheet, spread some oil on top of it, not too much because you don't want it to be too oily. Since this is a dessert, it should remain relatively light, even if it's Christmas. So this is just so that the sheets stick together. So you just do it like that. You take another sheet and you put it on top of the first one. Try to match them as best as you can. So it's a bit tricky to do, but I think this will. Well, I'm gonna try from this side. Alright. Yeah. Alright. So as you can see, both sheets will now stick together like this. Now it's easier to use and make a roll with. So next you take a nice amount of the apple and spread it all over the place like that. Make it thin though, because you have to make a roll with it. Now the tricky part is to have enough for the 5 rolls that you have to do. 5 because I have 10 sheets in my pack. Well, basically you have to split the amount of apples and the dry parts here, the dry ingredients, equally, so that you have for all the rolls. If you find it too hard, you can always use some additional bowls and or cups or anything that you prefer to split the stuffing before you start. So this way you can just use like portions. I think, yeah, this should probably do it for this roll. As I said, try to split, to put it all over the place so that there's apples for everybody if you cut the rolls afterwards. So yeah, this should be good. Should be good. Next, you take the mixture of sugar, breadcrumbs, nuts, and cinnamon, and just put it all over as well, like that. It shouldn't be hard because it will stick over the wet apples. Once again, try and have enough for all the rolls that you will make. Well, let's say that this is enough for this one, more or less. Yeah, just a little bit here and there. So now you just have to make a roll of this. So you start on the larger side like this and just gently roll it forwards. Don't squeeze it too much because there won't be enough space for the whole stuffing to fit in. Just hold it lightly, make a roll, and now what you have to do is try and turn the roll into a spiral like this without breaking it. So you make something like that and you put it in the center of your baking pan. So this is for this part. Now what you have to do is just repeat the process and make larger and larger spirals until you fill the whole baking pan with it. So once I'm done with all this, I'm going to show you the final part, and then it's into the oven. Alright, so this is the strudel before it's cooked. While making the rolls, I ended up short on apples, so I had to use another one. So yeah, happens, doesn't matter. Now, just before you put it in the oven, take just a little bit of the oil and try to spread it on top of it lightly. It's you do this to make sure that the top level of the dessert will be all crusty and well baked. It will give it a golden color. Just don't put too much because this dessert will be quite moist as it is because of the apple, so it doesn't need any oil or anything else to make it more moist or light. Well, so this should do it. like that. Right? So there we go. Now you put it in the oven for 30 minutes and it's done. So see you in a bit and I'll show you the final result. And we're back. The strudel is now ready. So it's still extremely hot, but I'm gonna show you the color of it. And as you can see, it's all crispy, which is great. So now what you have to do is resist the urge to eat it instantly and cover it with a towel for a while. Leave it like that for like 10 to 15 minutes for it to cool off a little bit, and it will be softer and better if you don't cut it right away. So that's it for the first recipe of the Christmas special. Hope you like it and see you soon at What's to East.